Have you ever looked into the eyes of a tiger not in a cage, not behind a barrier, but in the raw imagination of the wild and felt that silent, burning question, what does this creature truly carry within its spirit? The tiger is not just muscle and fang, not just predator and power. To the ancients, it was far more than an animal that was a symbol, a messenger, a guardian that stood between the seen and unseen. Its roar was said to echo through both the forest and the soul, reminding us that life itself is not tame, but alive with mystery, ferocity, and fire. Throughout history, cultures separated by oceans and centuries have arrived at the same haunting truth. The tiger is not merely flesh, it is spirit. In China, it is the king of beasts, the embodiment of courage and protection. In Indian philosophy, it becomes the mount of the goddess, Durga, a divine ally in her battle against chaos. In Korea, the tiger appears as both a trickster and a sacred guardian, embodying contradictions that mirror the duality of human life itself. But what is this spirit of the tiger? Is it rage without reason, or discipline wrapped in strength? Is it simply survival, or does it reveal something deeper about our own hidden nature? Perhaps the tiger's spirit is not only about domination, but about balance, the ability to know when to attack and when to retreat, when to stand in solitude and when to move with purpose. In this journey, we will peel back the layers of symbolism that cloak this majestic predator. We will ask not only what the tiger represents in culture, but what it teaches us about ourselves, about courage, about stillness, about the fire that sleeps within every human being. Across the annals of human civilization, the tiger has never been seen merely as an animal. Instead, it has always been elevated into the realm of the sacred, the symbolic, and the eternal. From the jungles of Asia to the ancient courts of kings and shamans, the tiger's presence carried meanings far beyond its striped skin and fierce roar. It was, and still is, a creature of paradox, embodying both destruction and protection, chaos and order, ferocity and grace. In Chinese culture, the tiger is one of the four symbols of the cardinal directions, known as the white tiger of the West. It stands as a guardian of boundaries, a force that defends sacred space against corruption and evil. To the ancients, the roar of a tiger was not just the sound of a predator, but the thunderous proclamation of cosmic law, a warning to those who dared to disturb harmony. In Hindu mythology, the tiger is intimately tied to the goddess Durga, who rides upon it into battle against the forces of chaos. This is no mere image of conquest, but a profound symbol of the union between divine femininity and primal ferocity. The tiger beneath Durga's feet represents unbridled energy, the raw Shakti of the universe, which only the awakened spirit can harness without being consumed. Similarly, in Korean and Japanese traditions, tigers were revered as mountain guardians and spiritual beings. In Korea, the tiger was seen as a messenger of the divine, a creature whose presence indicated both fortune and warning. In Japan, the tiger came to symbolize courage and longevity, often paired with bamboo in art to evoke resilience and adaptability. Philosophically, the tiger has been invoked as a metaphor for the human spirit itself. In Zen thought, the phrase "riding the tiger" speaks to the paradox of confronting life's fiercest challenges. Once atop the tiger, one cannot simply dismount, for doing so would mean destruction. Instead, the rider must learn to stay balanced, to move with the tiger's energy rather than against it. To begin unraveling the spirit of the tiger, one must look beyond the stripes and claws into its very essence. Unlike the lion, often associated with communal strength and pride, the tiger is a solitary being. It walks the dense jungles and bamboo forests alone, dependent only on its own senses, instincts, and power. This solitary nature is not weakness, but the foundation of its identity. The tiger represents independence, self-reliance, and the strength to survive without needing constant validation or protection from others. At the heart of the tiger lies raw intensity. Every movement it makes, from the silent stalk to the explosive leap, carries an unmatched sense of focus and precision. It does not waste energy. A tiger will wait for hours, hidden in shadow, conserving its strength, studying its prey, until the perfect moment arises. Then, with a sudden surge, it unleashes its full power in a single decisive act. This is a lesson in patience and timing, a reminder that true strength is not reckless but deliberate, not scattered but concentrated. The tiger also embodies duality. On one hand, it is a merciless hunter, its claws tearing, its teeth crushing, its body built for predation. On the other hand, it exudes a majestic grace, moving through its domain with quiet dignity. This balance between ferocity and elegance is not accidental but essential. It reminds us that the human spirit too contains contradictions. We are capable of destruction but also of beauty, of aggression but also of gentleness. Another key to the tiger's nature is its deep connection with instinct. Unlike human beings, who often drown in hesitation and overthinking, the tiger acts with certainty. It trusts its body, its senses, its intuition. This trust is not blind, but born of alignment. The tiger knows itself completely, and so its decisions flow with a kind of inevitability. Yet perhaps the most profound aspect of the tiger's spirit is its aura of fearlessness. To see a tiger in the wild is to feel both awe and terror. It does not ask for respect. It commands it. Its very presence alters the atmosphere, reminding all other creatures that they are in the company of an apex force. But this fearlessness is not recklessness. It is not the absence of fear, but the transcendence of it. The tiger has always been more than an animal. It is a living metaphor for the boundless aspirations of humanity. Across cultures, it stands as a symbol of courage, energy, and unyielding spirit, qualities that people long to embody. When humans look at the tiger, they see not just a beast of the forest, but an archetype of what it means to be powerful, free, and untamed. One of the deepest human longings is the desire for personal power, not necessarily the ability to dominate others, but the ability to master oneself. The tiger becomes a mirror for this longing. It is the image of sovereignty, moving alone yet never appearing lonely. Its strength is inward as much as outward, for the tiger does not require constant conflict to prove its might. The tiger also symbolizes discipline, though its discipline is of a primal kind. Every hunt reveals its ability to control hunger and instinct until the moment of release. It does not waste energy in fruitless chases, but conserves its strength until the odds tilt in its favor. This is a lesson for humans who often squander their energy on distractions, anxieties, and pursuits that bear no real fruit. At a spiritual level, the tiger has often been revered as a guardian of sacred truths. In Eastern traditions, it is seen as a protector of wisdom, a force that defends temples and stands at the threshold between the material and the spiritual. The tiger, in its majesty, reminds seekers that spiritual growth requires both ferocity and gentleness, both courage to confront darkness and humility to move with grace. Human aspiration often struggles with fear, the fear of failure, rejection, or death. Here again, the tiger serves as a guide. It embodies fearlessness, not because it is invulnerable, but because it accepts the risk of life without hesitation. To live like a tiger is to confront one's fears and walk forward anyway. It is to roar into the face of uncertainty, declaring one's existence without apology. The tiger also speaks to humanity's yearning for individuality. While many animals thrive in herds, flocks, or packs, the tiger thrives in solitude. This solitude is not loneliness, but sovereignty, a declaration that one can exist fully and vibrantly on one's own terms. For humans, who often feel pressured to conform, the tiger is a reminder that greatness often requires separation, a willingness to leave the crowd and walk into the wilderness of one's own path. In the end, the spirit of the tiger is not merely the essence of a wild beast ruling the jungle. It is a mirror reflecting the human condition, our longing for strength, freedom, and authenticity. The tiger embodies courage, discipline, and the silent wisdom of waiting for the right moment. It reminds us that true power is not found in domination over others, but in mastery of the self. Strength is not in endless noise, but in silence that speaks louder than words. The tiger teaches us that fear is not an enemy to flee from, but a gate to cross. Only by confronting danger, only by walking into the unknown, can we claim our own freedom. It calls us to live boldly, yet mindfully, to carry within us the fire of independence while maintaining balance, dignity, and respect for the greater order of life. When we gaze into the tiger's eyes, we see not just a predator, but ourselves, our hidden desires, our inner struggles, our untapped courage. The tiger stands as both a guardian and a challenge, to awaken the sleeping power within, to walk our path without hesitation, and to embrace life with fearless authenticity. Thus, the tiger is more than the ruler of the forest, it is the ruler of our inner wilderness, a timeless symbol of strength, pride, and the eternal quest for meaning. Stay with me, For the spirit of the tiger is not just a story of the wild, it is a mirror. And once you look into it, you may never look at your own soul the same way again.